Hey everybody, Rob Berman from Northwest Hickory Players. It's the middle of the coronavirus outbreak and I am here at Port Ludlow Golf Resort, which is closed. I thought I would come out today and see what happens to a 9-hole golf course if you abandon it for more than a decade. There's an additional 9 holes here that have been closed since the recession. I thought, in the interest of social distancing, today might be a good day to walk that 9 holes and remember some of those holes and see what the conditions are. So I'm here to document that and make a brief report. Thanks for joining us. So the first hole here is interesting. There's a huge ravine that one has to hit over. It's a slight dogleg right up to an elevated green. All the trees in the ravine have now grown up quite high, unmaintained, which would make that drive quite challenging, but looks pretty scraggy out here, very quiet. It's going to be interesting to see and remember some of these holes. I should add the cart paths are all still here. All of the original signs are here. Really, it's just been walked away from at this point. First impressions now that I'm up at the first green. Boy, it's unbelievable. The weeds are thick. I wonder how long it would take to bring it back to a playable condition. The bunkers are now filled with grass, but you can see the contours. They're still there. Fairways loaded and riddled with animal dung and quite high reeds and tufts of thick grass. Interesting. Number 2 looks like a fun hole. I don't remember it at all, but it's a small downhill par 3. Favors a fade. Green is set just a little bit off to the right. Probably no more than a wedge. It's an awful condition, but the design still is there and has a lot of potential. I'm making my way up now to the third tee box. I think this is the old par 5 that I remember. It's one of the 2 holes I can still remember from 20 years ago. Intervening trees again are too high to make some of the tee boxes playable, but I can't wait to see this hole. If I remember right, it has a very sweeping fairway to a very low set green. It's very quiet out here and beautiful. As I walk the third fairway, I'm reminded that I have seen black bear out here in the past. Only once, but I'm not far from the driving range here, and that's where I've seen the bear. It'd be a great place to be. Standing again in the third fairway, it looks like the fairway comes down to a big collection area, very low set, probably 40 to 50 feet below the fairway. And I seem to remember that the hole continues. The trees are just a little high, and it's hard to picture it today, but I don't see tee markers ahead of me, so I think this hole does continue as a par 5, and it'll be interesting to be reminded what the green complex was like. So I'm now here on the third green. I must have been mistaken. This is not a par 5, it's a par 4. A really dramatic, deep set, low rising green down here in awful shape. Looks like a fun hole. I think the shot would favor staying at the top of the hill. I'm sharing the green with a robin who's not happy that I'm here. And by the way, I've remembered that I have a Callaway pitching wedge in my hand just in case I confront the bear a little later on. Another curiosity of mine, I don't remember where the 9th hole returns. So I'm hoping it returns to the clubhouse. I don't remember. We're going to find out. I'm standing now at the 4th tee box. What a great looking hole. Very much elevated fairway. I have no recollection of what lies up there. This is a really hilly course, and I forgot how steep it was. But what a great design. I hope someday this gets returned. It is absolutely dead and empty out here. Okay, I stand corrected. I just confronted one other walker who must live near here. He said he has never seen anybody on this course since he moved here a number of years ago. He also added he's never seen anybody out here with a golf club, and I said I haven't done anything with it. I'm only guessing, but if I have a heart attack trying to walk this course, it's going to be hard for the EMTs to find me. I'm up at the 4th green. Small pine tree growing in it, and this must have been one of the lowest handicap holes on the course. It's a rigorous walk, all uphill. Challenging hole, it looks like. I'll have to see if I can find the old handicapping for the course. 5 tee box. I bet this is the par 5. Again, the trees are totally obscuring the pathway for your shot. God, it looks like a cool hole. Giant ravine you have to drive over to an elevated smidgen of fairway, and I have a feeling this is the hole that has that giant roller coaster ride to a lower green, probably a par 5. It's possible this is a par 3. It's hard to tell. More when I get there. Okay, I've made it to the top of the hill on number 5. It's an awesome looking hole. Not the par 5 I thought it might be. Looks like a fairly challenging par 4. The green complex looks unbelievable. It's just set back into this grove of trees. Looks like there may be some kind of a lake that was once up there, maybe 50 yards short of the green. This is a really great looking design. This hole and this course hold so much potential. So the good news is they have not developed it. It would take probably a year to bring it back, and I can't imagine how much money. I'll note also as I approach the 5th green, I'm still about 120 yards out. There's a solo dogwood tree, perhaps. It's not in bloom, so it's hard to know what it is. Oh, and this thing is not a lake. It's a giant hell bunker left of the green about 50 yards short. But there's a beautiful flowering tree set right behind the green as a gorgeous depth issue and aiming point. Just absolutely beautiful. This must have been a magical hole. I'm leaving now the back tee of the 6th hole. Again, very undulating fairways out here. Have no idea what's up there. It's an exhausting walk. I can imagine why, of all the 3 9s, they elected to shut this one down. It was probably too hard for the members to walk and get around. And it looks like a hard 9. This obviously must have been the harder of the 9 holes. I know the other 2 9-hole courses fairly well, and they're great and fun, but this is definitely the hardest of the 3 courses. I'm 100 yards out from the 6th green. Maybe one of the high points on the course. There's a bit of a breeze here. Looks like a little bit of a pond. Nice looking green. Again, we've got a tree growing out of the bunker, probably 15 feet tall, but it looks like a fun approach shot. Again, though, all uphill, very challenging golf hole, but serene and pretty, and surrounded by woods with beautiful views of the Salish Sea and some mountains in the distance. Really, really pretty hole. I'll take a picture looking back at the tee box. It's really a gorgeous scene. I would add here, I'm standing on the 6th green. Of all the greens, this one has the least definition left. It may be because it's the most exposed. There are no evidence of the edges of the greens here. There are clear signs of vehicle traffic up here. Occasionally there's 2 different pathways for 4-wheeled vehicles, but there's no evidence of the green anymore. It's just basically weeds. C'est la vie. Just another observation as I walk the cart path from number 6 to number 7. I don't have any concept of where I am compared to the other 18 holes. This must wind around behind the driving range, I'm guessing, but I don't have any idea where I'm going to end up. It's going to be interesting to see how that route works out. Okay, so I've placed my advance call to the EMTs. This is a damned hilly golf course. I'm standing on the back tee of number 7. Again, my biggest surprise in all of this is the amount of maintenance courses must have to do to trees. We're all familiar with removing trees from courses, but in this case, many of these trees that lie between tee boxes and the fairway are now too high practically for the average golfer to play. I'm guessing this hole is a par 3. It looks like a slightly uphill 210-yard par 3, maybe a little more. Again, not easy. This is a very, very, very challenging 9 holes. I used to play here, but it's been about 20 years and I have zero memory of these holes. But what a cool looking place this is. The maintenance required here though is pretty steep, and I imagine some pretty heavy equipment would be needed for very routine and steady maintenance, but it would be incredible to see this thing come back. There are very few homes visible from this course, which is nice. You feel very much in the woods, and there are nice breezes here and beautiful views. I'm here on a beautiful day. It's about 45 degrees. It's very still. I haven't seen any deer or any large wildlife at all, but I'm sure they're around. This would be a veritable playground for those guys in the last decade. So I'm going to continue to make some assumptions here. I'm walking number 7, and I want to predict the index rating, the slope rating for this 9 holes. I'm going to guess it's 136. I'll have to see if I can find an old scorecard and find that out, but it's got to be pretty high, and it'll be curious to see the length of some of these holes, especially the par 3s, and to look at that index. So very interesting. I'm up here on 7 green. It's in awful condition. However, to the right of the green, if you're standing on the tee box today, there's a grove of probably 35 birch trees which protect the right side of the green. It's a very large, deep-set bunker on the left side of the green, and a fairly large sloping hill on the left side of the green beyond the bunker. So clearly the play from the tee would be to carry it up over the bunker, up to the hillside to the left of the green, and let the ball trickle down to the green surface itself. I don't know if these trees were here 20 years ago, but they are blocking the entrance to the right side of the green entirely. I suspect they weren't here because I now see there are trees in the bunker as well at the same height. So it's interesting today. This would definitely command a fade shot off the tee, but I bet these 35 to 40 birch trees to the right of the green were not here back in the day. So you may hear me rustling through the knee-deep weeds here, leaving the green on number 7. I'm walking towards the tee box for number 8, filled with anticipation. This absolutely has to be the par 5 that I remember. I can't see the hole yet. There's a bit of a bend, but I can't wait to remember this hole. So just another observation. It's interesting coming from 7 to 8. There's a very windy cart path. It's mostly downhill through the woods, building definite excitement for what's coming. I'm standing now at the back tee box for number 8. From here, a tee box I've never stood on in my life, you can see most of the hole, although again the trees in front of this box are completely blocking out the tee shot now, but I'm standing a little bit to the right of that. You can see the excessive downhill nature of this hole. This is fascinating to me because from where I normally would have played, you're much lower on a tee box and you cannot see the depth and what lies beyond the humps in the fairway. From up here, the hang time must have been unbelievable. And this is definitely the high point of the course. We're just surrounded and buffeted by trees here, so the breeze isn't as pronounced. But this looks like an incredible tee shot, probably requiring a really small draw into a fairway. This is definitely a par 5, so you could just hit everything you have here. I'll take some pictures. So I'm now taking the path away from the white tee box at number 8 on a windy trail back to the fairway. It's no wonder that I remembered this hole. It's different than I remembered it entirely, but what a glorious opportunity for a massive towering drive on this hole. I remember the approach shot being to a very lowered green, which is the thing that I remember the most about it. I did not remember this tee shot, but it's no wonder of the 9 holes out here, other than the first hole, this is the only other hole that I could remember after 20 years. So I've been a little perplexed. I'm standing here on number 8. I'm at the 150-yard marker, and I couldn't figure out where to go. But I think what I'm looking at is the remnants of the green. It's not as downhill as I remember, although it is downhill from maybe 250. I'm not even certain this is a par 5, but the green today is just a waste area of raw sand. So not sure what happened. The entire green seems to be missing. It's possible they used it for other repair on the other 2 9-hole courses. But again, my memory is faulty. I thought that this was a deeply sunken green, and it is downhill, but it's nothing like I remembered it. I'll take a picture of where I am right now at the 150-yard marker. It's a little disappointing, but it's still a pretty cool hole, and man, is this a hard golf course. So I've made it down to the tee box at number 9. I have not fallen or broken my ankle, so that's good. My shoes are pretty wet. Grass is pretty deep. This looks like a neat hole. I'm on the tee box. There's a big ravine to carry with a gorgeous looking bridge. I'll shoot a photo of that. I can hear somebody down there. Sounds like somebody's cutting something. At any rate, it looks like a big bend to the left here. So dogleg left. Looks like you just belt it out there 250, and then you probably have 150 in from there. Kind of, again, a glorious hero shot here from the tee box with a lot of airtime, and against a blue sky, this would be such a fun hole to play. Hoping someday this comes back. So I just made my way across the bridge on number 9. This is the only par 5 on this 9, I'm pretty sure now. There is a gentleman clearing some trees from the bridge, which is a volunteer. And he was telling me that he thinks the course sold the turf that was on all the greens back when they shut the course. And they've also removed some turf from the fairways here on number 9, probably for other maintenance on the other 2 courses. This looks like a stout hole. I don't remember it at all, but I'll shoot a picture. It's all uphill from down here, and clearly the only par 5 on this 9-hole course. So as I make my way up towards the green on number 9, I'm still 230 yards away. Very plateau type green. I suppose it's a par 5. It doesn't seem like an awfully long hole, but clearly very strategic. Fairly narrow fairway here, surrounded by steep drop-offs on the left and woods all around on both sides. I don't see yardage markers on this hole, but good finishing hole. I don't see evidence of too many bunkers. Clearly there was a front right bunker here in front of this huge plateau green. This would be a tough shot, probably a 1.5 club uphill approach shot. Looks like a fun hole. Not my favorite, but nice closer. I should add, as I approached number 9 green, that this gentleman on the bridge said that one of the guys he walks with has in fact seen a mother bear and her cubs on this course as he walks this 9. So I'm back in my car. Now I remember where this golf course lets you out. It is right next to the clubhouse. The course curves around the back of the driving range. Again, what's fun about it is it's very invisible from most homes, and you feel very much in the Pacific Northwest, as evidenced by the photos. There would be massive amounts of work required to bring this thing back, but the beauty is they haven't foregone that opportunity. So if in the future somebody with some revenue comes in and feels like investing, this could be a great alternative to the other 2 9s that we have still here. At one point, the Port Ludlow Golf Resort was just that. It was a leading resort in the state of Washington. And when it first opened, it was among the best courses in the state. But obviously, since that time, harder times have come, and the maintenance and the boom of the housing that must have been originally here at the very beginning has waned. Port Ludlow is a fairly affluent community by comparison on the Olympic Peninsula. Not entirely different than Port Townsend, but tends to be a little older and a little bit more affluent, probably more retired and a little less active. I know because my mother-in-law lives here that everybody that lives in Port Ludlow pays dues to be a member of the club, whether they use the club or not. And by club, I mean 2 swimming pools, a restaurant, the golf course, etc. I think technically the course is separate from the other facilities that they offer and amenities, but At any rate, this was a fun day, a great excuse to get out of the house and to get some exercise. This has been fun, and if you have a course like this near you, we'd love to see it. Thanks for watching. Rob, this is a video of the 5th green. This video shows the 2nd tee box from the back down to probably the white tee box here, playing down to a magnificent par 5 way down in the distance. Again, look how these trees have completely blocked out this tee box. It's kind of funny. Not difficult to fix.